comedian. And I said, he doesn't have to be any of those things. You're funny as shit. I don't know why you're not a stand-up comedian, to be honest with you.
Well, see, I think even if I lose the primary, I think having this content as role playing a congressman is actually enough content that it will essentially condition the situation in the future. So this is all performative, but also educational. So to me, this is what I think AOC is. To me, this is what I think, Ilhan Omar. I think these people are just content creators and they want to watch America burn. And the fact that I'm trying to kill two birds with one stone here. So that's why I am legitimately asking you for your support. Hakima is a campaign contributor. He has reached deep into his pockets.
Hold on, give context. Hold on, stop it.
Okay. So this is the context. So Hakima is a campaign contributor because in the Super Mojo Positive Vibration experience, Mojo did a campaign auction and Hakima was the high bidder and he got to kick Monica to the goo, which really that clip went viral too. So you see how I can't lose here? Even when we're raising funds, I'm creating content about that and those videos are going viral and those YouTube accounts are going to get monetized. So thank you, Hakima, from the bottom of my heart.
Why does Monica get under your skin so bad? Like, I just don't get it.
Hey, Adam, if you was in that room and saw her visceral reaction to me kicking her off stage, you would have saw why she get up. Like, why is she literally crying almost? Rock, don't let him touch me. I don't want him touching me. Then when I kick off the stage, I cannot believe you let him touch me. Like, she's a wicked person. Like, she should get under your skin to the point where, like, I don't argue with her. I have an open dislike for her. I can be cordial in the room with her. If I get a chance to kick off the stage to piss off him, fuck you, yeah, I'm going to do it.
So, Hakima, let me say this. If you find yourself in Roger's absence, being moderated in the muff while Monica's in there, I just ask that you at least do your fellow Chicagoan neighbor me a favor. I mean, now listen, before I state this, you're obviously your own man. You do what you want to do. But if I can gently ask, if you find yourself moderated in the muff while Roger's gone and Monica's in there with you, please don't boot her.
I would never do that. But actually, I believe she had me blocked. I tried to go in the room today and say, you cannot enter this room. So I reached out to Serendipity and she said, Monica was modded. Yeah, so more like she got me blocked. I just show you, like she's such a wicked, evil person. Like, she couldn't even have good humor. Like, I spent $80 just to kick off the stage for an hour. And if she supported John, she should have been like in good humor, like okay with. But she took to the point now I'm blocked. She's a shitty person.
If you tell me not to do it, I won't do it. But I'll gently reach out to her on the back end.
I don't care. I don't care one way or the other. I don't mind not saying that. Like now, if Roger comes back and she's mine, I can't get in the room. Then I have a problem with that. But if it's just her, I don't mind not getting her.
Okay, right on. Well, I hate that because, I enjoy your contributions to the space and, your perspective to the space. And the fact if you can't get in there, that's troubling. I'm kind of a little annoyed by that right now.
I can find other muffs to get in now. There's other muffs out there.
Other muffs. So I wasn't there for this. So was there a room where people could do how Craig used to do it, where you could basically toss people out based off a donation or something? Is that what went down or something?
Yeah, that's exactly what went down. Yeah.
Damn. Who else got the heave ho? Anybody else?
No, she was the only person.
Oh man, Monica's is good.
She got it twice. It was crazy. As soon as they offered the idea, she started panicking. Then, no, don't do that. It's gonna be me. Because I wasn't even thinking about it until she started like panicking. I'm like, fuck that. I'm gonna take this opportunity to just put her at full tip. And then definitely she wants full tip. But she opened up She knew that she was gonna get that reaction from someone. So yeah, we ended up negotiating the price and got up out of there. It was fun.
You know, Matt.
She should have had fun too, though. But it irritated the fuck out of her.
You know, Matt, I just want to go back to what you were saying about how tonight is going to be the last night of this campaign and how wrong you're going to be. And if you go to John Kitover on Instagram, this is what a recent post I wrote. It says, candidate Congressman John Kitover, a service-connected disabled veteran, has been accused of stolen valor on Clubhouse by Brad. His account is Brad Wandering. Audio and video recordings have been made, and the campaign legal team is preparing to file a civil slander, defamation, and libel lawsuit. Additionally, Brad makes daily death threats to women and young men on Clubhouse. Second Lieutenant retired and candidate Congressman John Kitover. So, get that message to Brad, get his ass in that room tonight, and we're going to clear this up. And whatever you think you're going to bring to that table in that house, I guarantee you, Matt, whatever it is, I don't know what you think this room's going to be about, but I can't wait because we're going to money bomb it. And if you're going to be legitimate and non-biased, nonpartisan, and you're going to help a pro-Trump Republican in the state of Illinois, in Chicago, surrounded by Democrats, if you're not going to help me and help me raise some funds and pin my antidote link so we can raise some campaign contributions, because we have people that have applied from this Craigslist ad, and they are extremely high quality caliber candidates that can really help this campaign. So we do need funding, and it's not going to go to me, Matt. It's going to go to people that want to work on this digital marketing, communication, and on the ground operation strategy.
So two things. Is that listed on your campaign website, what you just mentioned there? I didn't hear what you said.
It's on John Kitover on Instagram. I'll put it in the chat.
Excellent, sir. Now, do you have receipts that you've actually donated to MAGA at all? I have just got a curiosity. Like, anybody can cosplay as a MAGA, right?
Yeah.
But what is your participation with the MAGA movement? Let's examine this a little bit.
Sure. So I voted for Trump twice and once in the primary. I went to the original Chicago Trump event here in Chicago, which was disrupted by Soros activists. At that time, I created a Facebook group called Chicagoans for Trump, and I did as much digital media organizing as I could in Chicago. And guess what? Barely any response. You're totally shadow banned, totally ghosted on Facebook. Can't do any political free speech on Facebook. Even in the very beginning for Trump, got no traction whatsoever. Let's see. For years on this app, Augustus and I and others in that preservation of the human race spoke up against Operation Warp Speed and the mass vaccination of the population in America and around the world, which we viewed as a Bill Gates, Dr. Fauci, Pfizer, Moderna, J&J scam to poison us, to defertilize us, to destroy our DNA with spike proteins, which has all been proven true. I've suffered the loss of over probably 40 Clubhouse accounts. I've had to go through 50 phones to continue this messaging. So, I believe Kennedy, who gave all his votes to Trump, helped sway the election by a marginal percent, 3%, 5%. That was a huge contribution. And look where Kennedy's at, top advisor in the cabinet. So we've done a lot on this app for the MAGA movement. I wear MAGA hats out. So in Chicago, the Illinois GOP and the Republican Chicago GOP, they did nothing for Trump. We went to events. There was never any kind of Trump organizing, Trump promotion, nothing. So I live in a desert of anti-MAGA people who don't want to be identified either as MAGA, even going back years. But in terms of giving money to the Trump campaign, I gave my time and a lot of digital marketing effort. I was even labeled by Mark Zuckerberg as a Russian disinformationist. So on my Facebook account, I got that notification. Your account has been identified as part of the, whatever the name of that English Britannica company or whatever it was that had all that data. Somehow, Facebook and this is in collusion even with the whole fake Russian narrative, is that, even Facebook was putting that out. So, don't forget also Zuckerberg platformed Fauci on Facebook live streams over and over and over again about getting vaccinated. So, Darren LaHood has received millions of dollars from big vaccination, big pharma companies, health insurance providers, and he promoted. You can go to his X account and type in vaccines and see all the promotion propaganda he put out to tell all of his good-hearted constituents in the 16th district to get vaxxed, or you can't have Thanksgiving or Christmas, you can't go back to work, and you can't end the pandemic until everyone is vaxxed. He put that messaging out over and over and over again on his X account, on his Instagram, on his Facebook page with over 30,000 followers. So, that's my involvement in MAGA. Matt, I know that's a long-winded answer.
No. You are a good salesperson for sure. And I'm assuming that all those things that you mentioned are true. And if you fought the good fight in Chicago on behalf of MAGA, obviously I appreciate that, of course. Did you ever run into Mark Carter in person or on the app? I don't know if are you familiar with that?
No,
Yeah,
I don't know Mark Carter. No.
Really? Okay. Yeah, he was a big MAGA, a black guy who was a big MAGA guy who was basically drafting everything that went on for MAGA in Chicago to be able to turn the tide, so to speak.
Are you talking about King Carter?
Oh yeah, King Carter. I think his full name is Mark, though. Maybe I'm wrong, but
yeah, this is the first time. But he went by King Carter for a while.
Yeah, exactly. That guy. Does that ring a bell? I don't. By the way, I didn't mean to dox anybody. King Carter's his name.
What's his profile name on Clubhouse?
I think it was King Carter. No.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, he's not hiding for nobody. I
said Mark. I said Mark, but he said his name before plenty of times. So, my question. Now I lost my question. Oh yeah, do you have any? I'm assuming you have some audio of you speaking highly of MAGA. That's my question.
Well, my big focus going back to August of last year, of 2024, was recording Adrian Dittman, who is Elon Musk. That's his burner account on X. So I feel like the work that I did recording Elon Musk, even going back to August of last year, was an incredible experience because I literally recorded him doing all of his events for Trump, jumping onto X, jumping into Adrian Dittman, having a subscriber only private. Like, I have recorded Adrian Dittman to such a high degree that he now creates fake burner accounts on Instagram, all over, on YouTube, everywhere, because I have so much Adrian Dittman content that if you just go on YouTube and you type in Adrian Dittman, you're going to see John Kitover's production of Adrian Dittman before you'll ever find Adrian Dittman, which has 250,000 followers on X. My Adrian Dittman account on X also shows up because most people don't spell Dittman with 2 T's and 2 N's. They just type in Dittman, and I have Adrian Dittman. So that work I did with Elon and recording those rooms and all his conversations, to me, was a little bit like an espionage thing, because these are unrecorded rooms and I have Elon Musk saying all kinds of things. I wouldn't really call them profane or vulgar, but all kinds of, like, his baby pull-out game. That's like a number one video of mine, of him talking about his sexual experiences and never pulling out. Things like that. Those videos are what upset Adrian Dittman, aka Elon, because I am in possession of them. So, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing to be hated by one of the richest men in this world, but Elon Musk definitely hates John Kitover, but he would probably give to me before Darren LaHood, because LaHood brought us the big, beautiful bill. You can look it up. He's one of the primary sponsors, co-founders, organizers. The big, beautiful bill adds $2.4 trillion to the national deficit. And Amazon, Apple, Google, J&J, Coca-Cola, $500 billion a year in tax credits to the Fortune 500 over the course of 10 years. So you have to understand, this is taking us to $40 trillion in debt, and it's only going up. You can't keep kicking the can down the road when it comes to borrowing and spending. We have to have a real economy. That means there's going to be winners and there's going to be losers, but we can't artificially inflate and create an economy. It's not good for the long term, because this is real money that we owe. and everybody owes it, and it's about 110,000 a person, and with the unfunded it's 400,000 plus per American. If you go to Norway, they have a 1.9 trillion dollar sovereign wealth fund. If you go to Saudi Arabia, they have a 10 trillion dollar sovereign wealth fund. We are a debtor nation. We are totally bankrupt and completely in debt. We have communication spammers who are lying to you about the true nature of our fiscal crisis. We have to bite the bullet sooner or later. Guys like Thomas Massey, Rand Paul, these are normal Americans telling you the truth about the insane spending that your government is doing. 25 years of war, a massive scamdemic, plandemic to eat out our substance. They have bankrupted us with this. So that's why I'm running. And, if you register with that message and you believe it, which I do, I'll put the link in the chat to donate to my campaign, or you can go to tonight's Stirring the Pot session where hopefully Brad will come in, Matt will present his evidence, and Dr. Adams will present his evidence on why they should vote for LaHood versus candidate Congressman John Kitover, who's willing to sit here and answer the tough questions.
Well. That was a little bit on the edges. I'm not feeling the MAGA from you, unfortunately, at this moment. I see you have a hat on that's MAGA. I mean, anybody could wear a MAGA hat.
Give me this. The fact that I'm willing to wear a MAGA hat on camera, walk around town in a MAGA hat, this is more dangerous than walking around as an Orthodox Jew, Matt. So, I got to tell you, it's a lot easier to do it on live stream than it is to walk around town. But there is a political and a cultural crisis. If I walk around town in a MAGA hat, I probably will get attacked, or people will run up to me and shake my hand. You never know which way it's going to go. So, but I don't know why you don't think I'm MAGA. I've voted Trump twice. I voted for him in the primary. That's technically 3 votes for Trump versus Tim Walz and Kamala Harris. I have videos of Kamala Harris, like politically correct rooms. I did a lot for the MAGA campaign in terms of surveillance and counter communication, reproduction on the internet to fuck with this app. There's nobody on this app who has fucked with the Democrats in a way like I have, in terms of causing them chaos in their rooms, disrupting their brains, republishing them, replatforming them. I've done a lot of work on this app for the Trump campaign. And for you to say, you can wear a MAGA hat, but Matt, you're going to have to come over to my side because there's nobody else here. And where are you, Matt? I mean, I'm trying to do actual political reorganizing and fiscal reorganizing. Darren LaHood has been doing this for 10 years. First of all, he signed a pledge to not seek re-election after 3 terms. He's already in violation of that pledge. So there's a lot on Darren LaHood that you don't know about. His dad had $50,000 in cash from a Nigerian scammer who was blackmailing him. The FBI took Darren LaHood's laptop to search it. I don't know why you think Darren LaHood is MAGA. He's not MAGA. He's not Republican. He's a Democrat. His daddy's a Democrat who worked for Obama. Why would you support these criminal lawyers who kick the can, rob you blind, and stick you with debt that you don't even feel yet because we have the world's currency supply? They're fucking you over, and they've already pulled the rug. You just don't feel it yet.
I hear you. I understand where you're coming from. Now, I want Adams to, hopefully he stepped away from his phone, maybe put some earplugs in about what I'm about to say. Now, what are your thoughts on an individual such as Marshall? Where does he line for you in terms of his beliefs or his thinking, or like I don't know if you know that he tends to lead more on the Republican, Bush side of things. Like, what do you make of someone like of his his lineage?
Yeah, did you ever see that movie with Lenny? Where they're living on the farm and he kills the pet mouse, he kills the dog,
Yes.
kills the girl. Marshall is that George Bush ranch hand who's never going to bite the hand that feeds him. And Marshall voted Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, but he has the gall to come on this app and call himself a Republican political consultant. The guy is chronically drunk. He mumbles all night long while he's laying in his bed, high on whatever kind of psychiatric he has to take and the booze he drinks. So I take everything with a grain of salt. You don't know people's health struggles in the real world. And I think most people who are on this app, no offense to anyone present in the room, but if we all had better things to do, we would be doing them. And a better thing to do is making money or having a job and responsibilities. So
By the way, you missed my title earlier. Maybe you saw it because about vices. I don't know. Did you see that title, John, or no?
no, in one house, no, I haven't seen this yet.
Yeah, in this house, I was talking about our vices. So that's kind of fitting that you brought that up. But carry on. No, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I drink and I smoke cannabis, but I also go to the gym and I also sit in the sun and I also go for jogs and I also have healthy meals. Um, but Marshall, the thing is, I'm willing to attack a person, a man, but I don't want to attack women, and I don't even want to argue with women. But I'm willing to debate with Marshall. But in terms of communication and having an actual conversation, he shuts me down every time, and he just blurts something out like, "This guy's a troll, and he's not a Republican. Kick him." That's basically Marshall's response to everything. So
So if he's here tonight, you would have a good faith debate with Marshall if he went back and forth with you on some issues, right?
sure, I
Okay.
will communicate like a normal person and stop and listen. But if the mods are just gonna let Marshall be a mod and talk over me or shut me up or yell, it's like you at least call him out for it. Don't let him get away with it.
That all sounds fair on that front. I don't know if anybody had any more questions for this guy, I guess quote unquote comedian, as NY likes to say. But yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, my messaging is actually what the normal messaging should be, which is stop borrowing, stop spending, and stop creating, fake political content on platforms to basically hide what you're really doing, which is giving away hundreds of billions of dollars of American treasury to either corporations. It's primarily all corporations because the big beautiful bill uh, is basically a $500 billion giveaway to the Fortune 500. And a lot of the things that I'm saying, I've done the research on Grok. I have the numbers and the names of the corporations tied to it all. So if you do a cross comparison reference between open secrets and the HR acts, and you ask them, for a percentage on how someone voted, you can do all this incredible cross reference data with Darren LaHood's voting record, his donors, and how much money he passes in the acts, and which corporations get the money. So, in my opinion, Darren LaHood is running a $10 million plus skim in the same way that the mafia would skim a casino cash room. He does the same thing by passing HRX. He's done it 10 years, and he will continue going on doing it because there's not one. Actually, there is another Republican candidate running, and there's three more Democrat candidates running.
Who's that one?
You'd have to Google 16th district congressional. I don't know his name off the top of my head, but he doesn't have any social media presence.
Do you know who the Democrats are going to be putting up against you or no?
I know two of them. One's a college professor. The other one is a younger guy. But they don't have any digital media footprint, very few followers. So I don't know what they're planning on doing in terms of their communication strategy. But yeah, if we could get them on this app to do a big debate, because LaHood is never going to join. But if you could get LaHood to come to this app or reach out to them, this could be something for you, Dr. Adams, or you, Matt, or you, Nye. If you could reach out to the Darren LaHood campaign and say, hey, we want to hold a digital media town hall and online debate with all the congressional candidates, you guys would be legends.
We are in touch with them. Let's put it that way. We're in touch.
Okay, great. Because, I tag him on a lot of stuff, all my Grok queries, and, I got no shame in my game. So he knows who I am because, he posts a lot of stuff personally. So, he sees my things and my stuff's getting views on X. And you can go to his comment section and you'll just see people tearing him apart. The most horrific things you could ever imagine people saying are in his comments. And these are his voters. These are District Illinois 16 citizens that hate Darren LaHood. A lot of stuff about Epstein, that he's covering up the Epstein files. There's a lot of dirty stuff. Politics is dirty, and just the fact that even Brad, supposed conservative Brad, non-Christian Brad, Viking warrior Brad, I mean, basically for 2 days trying to destroy me, and then finally I post my military ID and my veteran's ID card, and finally he goes away, and he says, "Well, maybe he is a veteran. I didn't really know." Blah blah blah. But that's the thing, is you have to keep track, and Marshall too, and others who are also making all kinds of claims about how John Kitover is insane. All kinds of statements like that. That's libel, slander, and defamation. Coming from an alcoholic who sits there and mumbles in his bed at 3 in the morning, "I can't fall asleep." So I'm just saying, I record everything, and that's why I kill two birds with one stone, because everything I say is recorded. I wouldn't be on this app unless I'm recording myself, and I've been doing it for 5 years. And a lot of people don't like me for that, because I record them saying profane, vulgar, slanderous, obscene things, death threats. So, it's not a good idea to come on this app and make death threats while people are recording you. But I'm just anonymous.
Well, there we have it. Do we have anybody with any further questions? We might have to carry this over into the evening, where we don't want to show all our cards just yet. This is just a little prequel, little pre-jazz. Trying to gather up, size each other up. Team LaHood is definitely prepared and ready.
Listen, Team LaHood has been put on the ropes. You guys might as well duck out. 30 minutes ago, you were telling me tonight's the end of my campaign. I think you guys might want to self-reflect yourselves, especially Dr. Adams, because I got Dr. Adams saying all kinds of horrific things. But you, Matt, to make the accusation that I'm not MAGA when I'm wearing a MAGA hat, and you're going to support Darren LaHood, who he's not even MAGA, Matt. He's a fake MAGA. Look at his X account. Look how much support he never gave Trump, during this last election. So don't tell me that this guy's MAGA and I'm not MAGA. Believe me, my father stands with Trump. I stand with Trump. A lot of friends I have, did a lot for Trump. I mean, even in the very beginning, we were walking around Chicago with MAGA hats, and people didn't know how to respond when they saw you wearing a MAGA hat back in, what year was that? 2020. So anyways, it's been a long journey, and the fact that Trump is the president is the greatest thing that could have ever happened. It was the destiny for America. But I believe that my campaign and all my life experiences and all my work and everything has built up to the destiny of this campaign. It's not like people don't just randomly run for Congress. Like, it takes, chutzpah, or it takes, will to power even. I mean, it is a journey running for Congress and putting your face in front of a camera and talking nonstop about issues that you believe are very important. I'm trying to accurately describe the situation, while people like Darren LaHood are trying to essentially propagandize you to make you not know the financial back end of the situation. That's the problem with Darren LaHood.
This is your calling. You feel is this your moment, basically? You feel like this is your calling to be able to do public service for the community of Illinois, the 16th district, right?
See, it is all about the 16th district, but you know it and I know it, that most of these congressional people are talking about bigger issues that affect the nation, not just their district. The number of jobs in that district is one of the number one factors as a congressperson you want to be looking at. The mantra is always, it's the economy, stupid. Jobs, 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 jobs. Darren LaHood believes in jobs, but Big Beautiful Bill, it's not necessarily reciprocal to the district you live in. You're not getting a percentage of the Big Beautiful Bill based on who your congressperson is. That money gets chopped up and goes to the biggest corporations in the planet: NVIDIA, Google, Amazon. You can look at the $500 billion annual tax credit to the Fortune 500. Darren LaHood essentially taxed you again. He gave what would have been a future liability to the Fortune 500 of $500 billion a year. He gave them your money in taxes that they would have had to pay otherwise. So I'm just telling you, you have to stop voting for people that do this because they're pulling the rug out underneath you and they're calling it big and beautiful. It's not beautiful. It's a big tax giveaway to the Fortune 500 that they're sticking you with as a taxpayer for future liabilities. This is merely offsetting tax liabilities to the population as opposed to the corporations. This is what's happening. This is the reality. This is the situation. It's not fair. They're treating you like the corporation that should be paying the taxes. It's just not fair. We the people are responsible for these bills and they're going to come due. And whether it comes out in inflation and eggs go to $10 and milk goes to $10 because of this inflation, a lot of the inflation will happen by foreign debt holders flooding into America and buying our assets like they're doing in California. One out of every five house transactions are being done by the Chinese, and it's usually a young female, 21 years old, who comes in as the buyer. So they're going to buy up our assets because our money is out in the world, and America is a good place to spend it because, we're the source of it and we can keep it safe. We've got a big advantage, but we have to stop creating a fake economy. 40% of the economy is all based on borrowed money or future tax responsibilities for the American people. That's the situation. If people disagree with me, tell me where I'm wrong in my logic. Then I guess I'm correct. But some people want to keep kicking the can down the road. I'm not one of those people. I want to crush the can, gather it up, reorganize it, and recycle it. But to keep kicking cans is childish. And Darren LaHood is a child. I am a man running for Congress in the 16th district of Illinois. All right, that's my spiel. I hope you guys like it.
And the problem is, I mean, with my John, like, MAGA is only interested in what Trump wanted done. And I do believe you're MAGA, but I believe you're a rare case where you can separate yourself from his agenda of spending money. And I just other MAGA don't want to hear that. Unless Trump said it first. If Trump said it, then they're calling. Your brain kind of independent in that sense. But I definitely believe you're MAGA.
Trump may end up being King Midas because kicking the can down the road is the definition of a Ponzi scheme. And sometimes Ponzi schemes peak. This Trump could be the peak of our Ponzi scheme. Even if we get a Republican in the office in the future, that Ponzi scheme may not have the Midas touch that Trump has. Trump does seem to be the magic man, and that's why I support him.
Yeah, well, I have to admit, if Akima signs off that you're MAGA, I might have to rethink this.
And he's a campaign donor. You are a supposed Republican MAGA. The thing is, you can still support Trump, but not support his fiscal policy of borrowing and spending. The belief that borrowing and spending and the growth that it generates will outweigh the costs of that borrowing and spending is ludicrous. We're giving money away and reshifting the burden of future tax liabilities and responsibilities to the American taxpayers. That's all we're doing. And you don't feel it yet, but in 10 years from now, when your property taxes are still going through the roof and your income taxes are still going through the roof because it's the only way to sustain the debt, they're setting us up for a catastrophic, critical failure. And if we don't enact fiscal prudence now, we will never be able to right the direction of the ship. It will become runaway Weimar Republic inflation. That may sound, like a crisis actor saying that, but if you look at Germany in the 1920s, prices were doubling every day, every 2 days. And it's the same thing in Venezuela. This is how you inflate a currency. We are doing that. But then we also have a dishonest bargain with the Federal Reserve, which is a quasi-private institution in the same way that Fannie Freddie are. They're government funded. It's supposedly one big system, but with separate boards, separate rules, separate governance, private, secret, closed door meetings. Does that sound fair to you as an American voter and taxpayer that the Federal Reserve gets to have private, secret, closed door meetings with no transparency, with international stakeholders in, you know, dealing with what assets are going to get bought up in financial operations? So there's a lot of secrecy that the American taxpayers are not keen to. And, Thomas Massey, Rand Paul, they want to audit the Fed and end the Fed, shut down their secrecy, shut down their hidden shadow operations that the American voter and taxpayers have no insight or vote into. Why does one guy get to set the interest rate at 4%, 5%, 7%? I've seen the interest rate fluctuate from 2% up to 8% in my life at 42 years of age. That's not a bad, range, but the point is they're inflating the currency, and it's just, you can go to usdeclock.org and study all these, figures, and the Treasury API, Thomas Massey, has his own button lapel. We just hit 37 trillion plus. So the data is out there, and if people live their lives with personal responsibility and self-reliance, why isn't the government doing the same thing? It should mirror everybody's individual action in this room. Otherwise, it's dishonest, and it's not a good bargain.
Yo, so I had to step away for a minute to handle something in the house, and I had this room playing, my phone on speaker. Obviously it's on speaker. One of my family members was like, "Are you watching the news? What news channel are you watching?" As they heard, they were listening to John speak. I said, "It's not the news, it's Clubhouse." And this family member, normally when they hear Clubhouse, it's a lot of noise and people arguing and Brad issuing death threats, et cetera, et cetera. So my family member was like, listening to John speak, they were like, "Wow, he sounds so articulate and smart." I said, "He's running for Congress here in the state." She said, "He sounds like a politician." So there you go, John. You've impressed one person in my house. They said you sound very smart, articulate, and very political. So I guess you're doing something right.
Yeah, the debt is a political topic because technically, we're all going to disappear and go through the same gate penniless. So the whole question is, how do we optimize the situation for future generations or create a better game for the next generation? And what they're doing now is setting up future generations for disaster, for actual slavery to the banking industrial complex or the debt creation system. We should be like Norway and have a surplus, a $2 trillion surplus. We shouldn't be $37 trillion of debt going to 50 trillion. Like, we are the biggest group of hypocrites if we keep doing this, because it may seem cool to kick the can and run a Ponzi scheme, but if you start a Ponzi scheme in the real world, like Bernie Madoff, eventually it hits a critical mass, and it implodes, and disaster strikes, and you go to the goo.
Well, fascinating. It sounds like you got one vote from the NY household over there at this rate. I mean, next thing you're going to be sending them a pledge donation link. That's not good news for the hood. We will.
Well, wait. There's one more thing I want to say is that Dr. Adams was talking about sexual harassment in the Darren LaHood campaign in one of my videos, where he was mentioning his penis and his butthole hair. And I want to thank you for that video, because it is critical content like that is going to embarrass the Darren LaHood campaign, that an aide for the campaign would come on social media and use such vulgarity and profanity and attack the campaign to elect candidate Congressman John Kitover. It's shameless, and you, sir, are no gentleman. We will also be adding you to our list of defamation, libel, and slander. So you have been put on legal notice.
Not too much on my buddy Adams here, okay? We're Team LaHood. We're all in on this. You're officially gonna be finished off tonight. Pause on that. But let's it's a nice day. It's a nice day here in LA for me. It's a beautiful blue sky where I'm at. It's there's grass. There's just things to do right now, and I went way over my time, my grand opening of the one, and I really appreciate everybody showing up. And we are definitely going to have to continue this spirited debate of your ending of your campaign, John.
No, this is your theoretical opinion that the campaign is ending tonight because you think you're going to organize another room and the chandelier is going to come crashing down, but it's not going to come crashing down on John Kitover's head, Matt. It's going to come crashing down on your head, Dr. Adams' head.
Down inside, my friend.
Oh, I'm not.
At
Matt.
In your core,
Matt.
You are done.
Matt, I have been preparing for this moment. Matt, please hold. I have been preparing for this moment my whole life. I've never attacked you, made slanderous libel, claims against you. You to me are a fun, intelligent, and great guy. And I just got to tell you, if you can say it, it is not true. That's an ancient American saying. If you can say it, it is not true. So your clickbait, your fake news misinformation about the campaign ending tonight, I appreciate it. You're technically setting, the stage for this evening. But I just want to let all the campaign contributors know, do not fear. The only thing you have to fear is fear itself. I played Franklin Delano Roosevelt on Broadway in Annie. Okay, Matt? I've already played the president. This is a downgrade position for me. Darren LaHood is a cheap suit, a failed federal prosecutor in a lousy suit. He's created $20 trillion and skimmed 10 million of it, and it's sitting in his bank account. And plus, the guy's going to get a pension, and he's already made millions of dollars. And his father's family's law firm is involved in all types of federal legal legislation and billing. So, you want to talk about parasites and people who suck from the system and put on a big smile with their suit and they shake hands with cops and veterans. That's all a show. This guy is the biggest thief among us. I'm trying to expose the fraud, waste, grift, corruption, and the basically the skimming with the lobbyists on K Street. This is how business is done. I say no. Vote Kitovers. He's gonna put your grandchildren in the hood because there'll be nothing left because they've already skimmed it and it's all gone overseas to offshore bank accounts. So Dr. Adams can claim that LaHood is good for the hood. But truthfully, he's putting us in the hood. He's stealing from us. He's not filling the treasury with reserves and flooding our savings. This guy is stealing from you and creating liabilities for you.
Well, respectfully, John, that's your problem here in Chicago. I feel that in my expertise being here in California, that LaHood is better for the hood over there in Chicago.
I don't want to get too far into this. I think we've had a fair, mini debate to set the stage, for future stuff coming up. And John, you stated your case, and I respect that. I have no hard feelings for you personally at this moment. I do think the campaign will have a demise very soon. Maybe it's not tonight, maybe it's not tomorrow, but my gut feeling is this all comes to an end pretty soon. It's just, I guess, I'm going by feelings. That's where I'm going right now. I think the HUD campaign has a very good chance of putting this all to rest in that way. But I think Adams, NY, and Yakima, thank you for of the house. So I really appreciate you guys showing up, and I hope to have more stuff like this in the future. I think we had a good morning room opened up, and I think whether or not I can keep this theme going, I don't think that's going to happen. But
no way. I need the inversion. I need the inversion. I just updated my profile. I'm no longer anonymous. This is John speaking. I want to set the record straight. I want to set the record straight and not be anonymous. But I'm gonna pin because this room is on record, and I think the One House is a great rebranding effort. And I think if you had the attitude that this is one house, and you really did realize that we are all on the same ship, whether it's the United States ship or the world ship. Just depends on a question of your relativity, and how far you can zoom out and how much compassion, friendliness, and kindness you have. Um, but I got to tell you, this is a runaway pirate ship, and there's a lot of people sitting on the deck, smoking cigars at the pool, ripping you off by giving away hundreds of billions of dollars a month in future tax liabilities that you are responsible for, the voter. And if you listen to Ron Paul and his farewell speech to Congress, he says we are bankrupt, but we're not gonna admit it. And the truth is, at $37 trillion, you are fucking bankrupt. And I just think that this artificial economy is one giant deception, and it's a word game. It's hypnosis, and the the cognitive distortion is that if we stop putting the oil in the engine will break and the car will go nowhere. That's just not true. Our American liberty is fortified by the perimeter of, these 50 states. It's ours. We've got the real assets. We're just sitting on a huge mortgage with $1 trillion a year interest payment. So I don't know. Again, I just go back to the only thing you have to fear is fear itself. I believe, talking about the Federal Reserve and talking about debt is political in nature. But most politicians will never actually discuss it or accurately describe the situation, which can induce a sense of panic. Because you realize the system in many ways is a Ponzi scheme, a scam, a fraud, and so, if we want true responsibility, true maturity, and we want to be actual academics and intelligent people discussing the fiscal crisis, I use Grok a lot to pull the numbers. Most people on this app will never give you a citation. It's all just opinion, 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 and it's heated discourse. And a lot of people repeat themselves over and over and over again on this app. I probably do as well. But anyways, Matt, I thank you for the opposition, and I look forward to debating tonight. What time are you doing the room?
That's still being determined at this point, but I'll clearly keep you informed.
Hey, John, can you give me, and I really don't know, I'm asking this question really, Jim. Can you give me the mathematical reason that debt is a problem? Like, what's the formula that I look up for debt?
Do a cross comparison between Weimar Republic economics and U.S. economics, or just go to any country like Zimbabwe that has $100 billion notes and just realize how you inflate a currency supply. It's the M2 money supply. Go to usdebtclock.org, and if you look at 2050, I asked Grok, what is the national interest payment annually at 2050 based on current debt growth? It's $4 trillion a year, and we only collect $5 trillion a year in taxes. So if we're only left with $1 trillion, but we're still spending $7 trillion, we're just essentially creating a massive pile of forever debt, which will result in a critical breaking point. It could be that the critical breaking point, in terms of like price, multiplication, where everything starts going up in price to an insane. It could be the year 2150. So it might not be our problem where we hit that insane point. But hold on one second. Hold on one second, John. Hold on. I'm not finished. Hold on. Now, if I were to say that, forensic accounting and actuarial science and mathematics, are just another form of communication spam, okay. Because shit rolls downhill, and it's better to be in Chicago, New York, LA, or Miami than fucking Zimbabwe. I hope that helps clear things up for you, John.
You're saying that it's better to be in a place with more people in a larger economy than a smaller economy? Is that what analogy is leading to?
Let me just tell you again, when you're sitting in a $2 billion Federal Reserve office in Washington, D.C., talking to the White House, that's where the ball of shit starts rolling downhill, okay? And it's better to be at the top of that hill than the bottom of that hill, which you could call Zimbabwe.
Well, yeah, argument, sure. I mean, Zimbabwe, you're saying Zimbabwe has a lot of debt. I don't know what Zimbabwe's debt is. What's the debt number in Zimbabwe that's drowning them so in inflation? Like, do you have reoccurring debt, or are you talking about mandatory spending? Because I don't know anything about Zimbabwe economy.
Well, geographic proximity matters. Think about your love life. Most people's love life is within 5 miles of their immediate point, of reference. So I'm just saying that, in my opinion, as an American, I would rather live in New York, LA, Miami, Chicago, Austin, Dallas, Seattle, anywhere other than a mud hut on the Congo. So that's why I say shit rolls downhill. We're at the top of the heap, but we are slowly eroding our position. But because of World War II, we still got the number one position. We're very lucky. I'm just saying we have a huge advantage.
John, your campaign is circling the bull. I'm telling you, it's circling the bull.
No, I know this show is almost over.
It's circling the bull, man. It's just it's like a turd.
The campaign.
Ask John.
I'm just asking a question.
No, not you, John. I'm talking about the John next to you.
The silent H John. Okay, I'm the pretend.
Yeah, no, the silent H John is running.
He's running for Congress.
He's running for Congress.
Look, guys, I just heard about modern monetary theory, and while I'm not an economist, it seems to make mathematical sense why that's the case. Why a good short chunk of debt is an asset, depending on where the debt is allocated. Right? Like if I have a debt but I own a house, and I have the debt of the house, and I'm keeping those payments on that house, then that's not bad debt, that's good debt, because I'm waylaying the payment. So if anything happens, I have the extra capital to do the thing with the asset. So I don't see debt as a bad thing. John's saying that debt is a bad thing, carte blanche. I'm trying to figure out how that mathematically makes sense. I looked at the stuff he's talking about that doesn't have any mathematical formulas in it. So I'm just trying to find.
Well, I mean, you have to look at it on a country. You have to look at it on a country-to-country basis. If you look at Saudi Arabia and Norway, they have no national debt. They have trillion-dollar surpluses sitting in their reserves and in their private banks that they own or international banks. I'm just saying America's debt implosion is already now $37 trillion. Only reason why we're able to pay $1 trillion a year in interest is because we're able to borrow $1 trillion a year in interest at 4% or whatever we're borrowing it from the Federal Reserve. So I'm just saying the whole system is one huge fucking Ponzi scheme. And that's what's called kicking the can down the road and creating more omnibus, more HRX, and continuing to fund hundreds of billions of dollars a year to Fortune 500, as well as other, tax redeferral and tax liabilities placed on future voters and future taxpayers. It's one giant scheme to skim as much as possible out of the substance of our country. And a lot of this goes to international offshore banking in the Caribbean, et cetera. Do you remember the Panama Papers? A lot of the money generated from Afghan, Iraq, Halliburton, all these big corporations, so much profit has been taken from our treasury and put offshore into international tax economic zones or free liberty zones, basically, where they don't have to pay taxes, like Switzerland. There's a lot of very rich families out there that have stolen from the treasury of the U.S. because of Congress and their never-ending HRX. They're giving our money away.
John, that's how you get rich, though, man. Exploit the system and not get arrested for it. That's how you get rich.
I got a question for you, John with no H. Like you talked about the debt, the house debt and the good debt. Now imagine you got a debt on the house, but yet the payment is more than your income. So therefore, now you got to go out and steal money from your neighbors to keep paying that debt. Would you still consider that being a good debt?
Well, I would say that you have to pay the debt. You're talking about stealing. I don't know if it's qualified like that. I would say that you're increasing revenue. You're trying to increase revenue to cover the debt. Like I think most business people have debts where they're like the average small business, like the medium-sized business, has debts that they're trying to pay with revenue. Yeah,
they're not trading new revenue.
100% they are. Yeah,
they're
creating new revenue.
Of taxes? I mean,
no, through energy production primarily, like the energy production and the technology production.
You think that's going to pay the debt? You think that's gonna pay the debt down? You think that's
Well,
gonna
yeah,
pay the debt down anyway?
Hey, look, man, I'm not your enemy here, dude. If my facts don't line up, I'm not trying to argue again. Like, oh,
No, I'm not arguing either. I'm trying to get to a clear
I'm
understanding.
just saying math, right? If I own 9,000 patents, or I, like Elon Musk, own $2 billion in stock, I don't have $2 billion. I have $2 billion in equity, $200 billion in equity, right? And so that equity could change, and then me in the bank's position would change. And at some point, they may sell off my equity because I owe too much, right? That's what Elon's doing. The U.S. is doing the same thing. The stock, in essence, is the things that are built on the land, the infrastructure, the people, the IP. That is equity. And so if you look at the debt alone and the payment on the debt alone, and you leave out the equity, just like somebody's personal financial position, you're not looking at the whole picture. You're looking at a slice of the picture, and that's kind of like because of bias, I guess. It's opportunistic. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, the thing is, if you're not in that money supply, if you're not in that network, I mean, this is the thing about having a social security number. We have a solidified network of Americans. And if you're outside of that social security number network, life is more difficult. So the question to me is, how do we optimize the spend? But how do we also stop borrowing and spending? And how do we reduce the annual deficit and the national deficit, or the national debt, as well as the unfunded liabilities? I'm telling you, if you go to usdebtclock.org and you really make a thorough study of those tables, and you click each one of those numbers, it'll give you a further breakdown of what those numbers mean. And at every individual level, you're already born $120,000 into debt, and every American has $120,000 in debt.
Right?
That's what
That's
the unfunded liabilities, which is $100 trillion, and so that's a 4x to what the current debt
John,
is.
when you do that number, right? Indulge me for a minute. If you take the entirety of the wealth of the upper 1%, that totally wipes out the debt owed by the 99%. And so, if you have a group of citizens that are all kind of in this together, and we all live here, their worth, the reason that we don't have inflation in Zimbabwe, is because the total net worth of the people who live here that are paying taxes is greater than the amount of the debt owed.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I.e., Apple is worth the entirety of the national debt.
Not even close. So if you go to usdebtclock.org, you can also see there's something called hidden assets, which is over $200 trillion. So if we were to liquidate a lot of US assets like federal buildings, federal lands, federal mineral rights, and we were to liberate our economy, we could generate trillions of dollars a year in revenue to start paying down the debt. But we would be giving up our most precious reality, our actual physical land, to foreign investors who would come in and bid on those, lands. Plus, it would be like giving away Indian reservations with unlimited opportunity. It would be giving away our very soul, which is, in time of need, we want that land and we want to expand on it, because 300 million
John,
people
I
could
don't know
become
people
a
over $1
billion
million.
people.
Everybody that I know that makes over $1 million pays from an equity position. So they own things. They paid on those things to own them. Their money's parked there, and those are all assets and not liabilities. So as the price value goes up, their total net worth goes up, and that is essentially inflation. I think the capital underlying the difference between what wages should be and what wages are, i.e., the $300,000 worth of debt owed by every American citizen, who should be in the $63 an hour range, where capital's taking advantage of them through Congress and through lawmaking and through bureaucracy, etc., is the real problem with the national debt, not what the 1% is paying, because they're paying like 20% of the tax.
Well, the 1% are paying 50% of all taxes.
No, okay. I mean, my bad, 50%.
But the point is, to steal from the rich to pay the debt doesn't solve the problem. We could just stop the borrowing and spending and let all sleeping dogs lie. If we were to just spend $5 trillion a year as opposed to $7 trillion, and only spend what we take in and have a balanced budget act, that would be a much more common sense approach to running this economy, as opposed to creating $2 trillion in new debt every year.
Dude, if you can lower mandatory spending and all that, I mean, I don't know what your plan is, right? But you got to cut something, right? So what do you pronounce to cut out of our mandatory and, our other spending?
Yeah, I would cut
That would
spending by
balance
2
budget.
trillion a year. I would take 1.8 trillion out of Medicare, Medicaid, and 0.2 trillion or 200 billion out of the defense budget. So that's 2 trillion a year, brings us back to 5 trillion a year. Boom. Medicare, Medicaid, National Defense
I'm on board.
Authorization Act.
Passed it. Let's get it ratified. I'm on board. Let's go.
Well, the point is you actually stop passing acts, you stop creating bills, and you cut the budgets now, and you stop borrowing and spending. That requires no new HR acts, no new omnibuses. You can't keep creating more cans to kick.
I want to see the math, bro. I'm totally like let's share a Google sheet. We can have AI write most of the math out here. Write a script, pull the numbers, little beautiful soup with Python. Let's put the math together, look at where those cuts would be, and actually write the bill. I'm 100% on board. I'll throw $100,000 into writing that bill, but it's probably going to cost like $300,000. So I'll throw the money into writing the bill. We can make the national debt better, and I don't know how that better supplies for people, but I'd love to see the numbers. If the numbers make sense, let's 100% do that. If that makes people's lives better.
See, if we cut Medicare, Medicaid by 1.8 trillion and the National Defense Authorization Act, we kill 2 birds with 1 stone as we take out 2 of the biggest enemies of the American Republic, which is Big Pharma and the military-industrial complex.
Really quickly, Matt, when you have this debate room tonight, please ping me, just in case I don't see it in the hallway.
You know, Matt, even you supporting Darren LaHood and Dr. Adams supporting Darren LaHood for Congress versus me, John Kitover, you are a part of this destiny equation as well. And I thank you, Matt, and I thank you, Dr. Adams.
This is heavy for a Sunday, man. You guys must not smoke a lot of weed. This is a low weed room.
No, you brought in a lot, John, without the H, silent H. So that is a future room. We could definitely do a room on that. Just maybe we could do, maybe John could live stream it since he's so good at this stuff. The breakdown of the what he has proposed for a budget and the national debt and all this stuff. That'd be an interesting room.
So, John, I just posted a link to a video. If you could watch the video and tell me what you think. That's actually a video that took place of an incident that took place in actually Chicago.
Okay, let me take a look.
John, silent H, John, all the house, man. Just the grand opening of my house, so great to have you here.
Sorry, Adams, that's your personal Instagram, and unfortunately, it opened it in a browser, so I couldn't see it. But feel free to describe what it is.
Hey, John, Kitover, you saying basically cut 1.8 trillion from Medicaid and Medicare. That's basically getting rid of both of them.
No, they're spending $4 trillion a year on it already. That leaves them 1.2 trillion.
That's how their budget is $2 trillion.
But what he hasn't said, and what I'm really interested in is when you cut that amount of money, what does that money represent as the more interesting part than the amount of money you're cutting? What does that represent?
The stock market and all corporations associated with that budget cut will implode, and those companies will go from 90 PEs down to 4 PEs. They will not exist in their current form.
What about all the people that depended on those benefits in the street? How's that going to help them?
Well, welcome to the national austerity movement, where people are going to have to tighten their belts and figure out a way to operate in a real economy.
Tighten their belt at 80 years old is crazy.
Well, see, gentlemen, all you're proposing is kicking the can down. You gentlemen are literally proposing that we continue to operate a Ponzi scheme, gentlemen. You gentlemen want to operate a Ponzi scheme. I'm trying to stop the Ponzi scheme, and you gentlemen just want to keep operating a Ponzi scheme and kicking cans. But that might be what you guys like to do. Do you gentlemen like to kick cans and operate Ponzi schemes? I don't. I'm fighting against it. You guys are merely trying to support it and say my positions are wrong, but you're wrong.
Okay, hold on. Let me just say something. It is completely pointless to talk about debt spending with this man. Let's move on to another issue that actually affects people living in his district. So, John, would you consider yourself to be transphobic?
I think if men want to dress up as women in public, God bless them. But if they also support genital mutilation and puberty blockers, and you want to mutilate a child who's having gender dysphoria and suffers from a mental health disorder like depression, I think you're a butcher. And I think Medicare, Medicaid, which is spending billions on transgender operations, should immediately be stopped. And in fact, all individuals involved with it should be put on a roster not to receive any future federal funding or any employment salary whatsoever from the federal government.
Well, you know, there's just short of 3,000 transgender voters in your district. I actually looked it up. And I think that if you change your position and embrace trans women, I mean, of course, we can all agree that children should not be getting gender transitions. But if you reached out to the adult voting transgender women, maybe if you did like a transgender outreach, John, you could maybe secure almost 3,000 signatures.
Well, that's where guys like you come into. Hold on, John. John, hold on. He's asking me a question about the transgender voters in the 16th district. I want to let them all know in this clip, which I'm going to post to a short on YouTube, that I want your support. But people like Dr. Adams are actually the hypocrites that live amongst us. They are literally promoting for more debt, a Ponzi scheme that Darren LaHood is involved in. It's a scam. He's created $20 trillion in debt and has over $10 million from big pharma, big health insurance, and big telecom, because even big telecom is involved in this scam. Darren LaHood has voted on the Rural Broadband Act and has given Comcast, AT&T, Verizon $65 billion not to build any additional fiber or network in this country. No one's getting it. All this money gets used up in their current operations, and there's no deployment. It's just another giveaway. So though the trans voters in the 16th district may not like my position on LGBTQ or the transgender movement, all I can say is you're still on the same boat as I am and everyone else is. This debt is also trans debt. So we need to essentially stop borrowing and stop spending, or the trans people will have, no house or room to complain in.
I think you were missing my whole point. So let the record reflect, okay, that if he does not win, it's because he didn't take my suggestion and do enough transgender outreach.
I don't know, John, what district are you running in? I don't know.
16th district in Illinois. The biggest towns are Rockford and Peoria, Bloomington, Normal, Illinois.
No, right. Yeah, I love it. As soon as Trump got elected, not as soon as Trump got elected, but right when I saw that Trump was elected, I went to Mexico. I was out.
So, Matt, I don't know if you're open to this, Matt, but we do have another job applicant to the campaign to elect John Kitover. So if you'd like, we could do a conference call and live stream an actual applicant into a room. But that would mean that, it'd have to be uninterrupted because I don't want to waste these people's time. But if you want, and I asked them prior, say, hey, you're on an online conference call. Is it okay if the call be recorded? I'm sure she would say yes, but she's interviewing for the position. So we can do that interview if you want.
I will take counsel with my fellow LaHood person here, Dr. Adams. So I will get back to you on that. Thank you.
I haven't settled on a name. I think, are we still going with the LaHood LaBoo-Boos?
Hey, John, I'm just curious. Do you run a business yourself? Like, is this coming?
Yeah.
Like,
So look at my PTR. You want to see my business? Look at my PTR. It's about 15 cell phones. It's got about 30 YouTube channels. I'm an online media creator, John. I've been getting paid 5 years here to record Clubhouse on your taxpayer dime. Adams is easily triggered. Adams is easily triggered.
Look at how many phones he has in his PTR.
Easily triggered.
Like a sane person that we want in Washington. Like, are y'all okay?
Are y'all okay? Great. Like, John, I'm just asking from, like, can we sit down and, like, do you have an SEC filing?
Sir, please check my profile. I know you're new. I know you're new to the campaign. I know you're new to the conversation, but this has been going on for many weeks now. And I don't have time to sit here and pull everything in this room because I've done it all in so many former rooms for you. But feel free to find me on Instagram.
To answer your question, yes, he does. Unfortunately, he does.
Post me the business link in the I don't know what you do.
It's in my profile. It's in my
residential-
profile. It's in my profile.
Okay, I'll take a
It's
look.
in my profile. Matt, I gotta give it to you, man. You know how to create and stir the pot, but guess what? It takes people to stir your pot. So I hope you've enjoyed the show. And, I thank you also for the Pepe and Dr. Adams show that I piped into Mojo's room and recorded. I thought that was a lot of fun. And Dr. Adams and Pepe put on a great show. And Matt, you're basically, if you look at that house, it's technically a circus. And you are the circus master. Congratulations, Matt. You're doing a great job.
Decide if that is a jab or a compliment. I'm going back and forth. But
No, it's basically like saying, you're a plantation owner and you enjoy sometimes watching a squabble.
No. Let's not go there.
Well, you're the one. You're the green bean. You're the green bean in a big red house. Let's be honest here. You're the green bean in a big red house.
We were civil. Until you had to bring up the plantation. What is next? Reparations? I mean, come on, man.
Well, we know John doesn't.
Oh, looks like a plantation house to me. Looks like a plantation house to me.
We knew it was
Maybe work on your branding and your logo. Because guess what? The Darren LaHood campaign is nothing but a plantation house for debt slaves working in a field. That's all you are, is debt slaves working in a plantation field.
Why? Because 2 black people are supporting him?
Debt slaves. It's crazy.
I am trying to liberate you from plantation lifestyle, and you just want to keep working on the LaHood, working on LaHood's plantation slave of debt.
1%, John.
Debt, $37 trillion in national debt, $100 trillion in unfunded debt liabilities. Go to usdebtclock.org to see more.
John, they're not running, sir. You're saying that you know how to manage money. So do you have like $20 million in the bank? Are you wealthy? Can I look up your net worth?
I don't know. You want to do a net worth comparison? You go first.
I would love to.
Go first. Go ahead.
I bet I got more in my trading account that I spend on options frivolously than you have in your bank account.
Well, guess
You wanna
what?
get that?
Guess what? Since I'm running for Congress and you're not, do you know what I had to do? I had to file what's called a campaign financial disclosure report. Feel free to Google it and look it up, John, because some of us got receipts. Some of us have receipts. Yes, Google it. I'm not going to do all these Googles for you. Let me tell you, go to my profile, follow all my social media, John. I don't have time for all your little one-on-one queries. Feel free to send it to Google. I used to work at Google, and guess what? We had an acronym at Google. It's called Let Me Ask Google For You. So go ahead, John.
Oh, Lord. This is stressful. God.
John, is this your first time dealing with John, the crazy congressman?
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever had the displeasure of speaking with John.
This is the first time I've met him.
There's a reason why you don't have an H in your name, John.
Yeah, intelligence, brevity. I like terse things.
Well, maybe if you didn't have an H in your name, you'd be beating LaHood.
Well, maybe I'd get more APAC money because that's the Jewish way
Sorry,
of
John, I
spelling
didn't mean
John.
to cut you off. I just had to put him in his place.
Listen,
John, let's get real.
He's got a lot of phones, but I got way more followers.
Exactly. Now let's. It got personal. It got really personal. He took a shot at.
I get like 50,000 hits a day. I don't know what you do.
Exactly, John.
That's
Exactly.
crazy.
well, I'm here stirring the pot with a guy with 50,000 hits a day. Wow, I'm stirring the pot with a big guy here. Wow.
I only came in here because I know Wallace. That's the only reason I even came in here.
Oh, it's the only reason you came in here, and you're sticking around and stirring the pot. Stirring the pot, one stroke at a time. Stirring the pot, one stroke at a time.
You're embarrassing yourself, sir.
John, that is the only reason to come in here is for Wallace. Good point.
Well, the other reason is you stir the pot, and I pointed that out that you're the circus master.
I have done nothing. I am not the circus trainer.
You're the green bean moderator. You're the leader. You're the leader. You're the moderator.
Hold on. I ain't no plantation owner. make that very clear.
You got a big red house in your PTR. That's racist. That's a PTR for a racist plantation house. You're a racist.
That is not what that is.
You are racist. That's a plantation house in your PTR.
That is slander.
One red house? That's a plantation house. You're racist, Matt. Hakima's giving me emoji approval. Hakima is giving me emoji approval, Matt.
You're a nasty person.
You're the nasty person. You're the one with the plantation house in your PTR, and you create hate rooms with Pepe doxing our beautiful mojo, ruining our positive vibrations. How dare you do that to Roger, letting Roger get doxed? You're putting Roger's life at risk with these people, Matt. You are putting Roger's life at risk with these people, Matt. Take ownership. Take responsibility for what you're doing, Matt.
That is the hood. He's for the black community. You're not. Final. Period.
Take responsibility for the hate speech rooms you're creating, Matt.
Listen, I just want to chime in and say y'all better leave Roger alone. That's it. I'm done.
Yeah, that's right. People are probably not even here. God bless Wallace. Wallace, you're amazing. Sorry.
Wallace is great because he doesn't run his mouth nonstop.
Got the pot called the kettle black. Oh my God.
I'm here campaigning. You're here running your mouth, and Matt creates hate speech rooms. Well, go ahead. Donate to the campaign for LaHood and keep kicking that can down the road in the debt plantation field with the rest of you. If you don't believe in this economic message of liberty, you are part of Matt's hate speech content creation rooms. I can show you the math. Go to usdebtclock.org right now. That's the truth of the earth, brother.
No, I see your math on the correction. The correction, the KPI over time, that's what I want to see. Like just general accounting of why you think this works. And you've done the math, so you can put that out there. That shouldn't be proprietary.
Yeah, it's all comes out of the Treasury API. Thomas Massey's got a little lapel pin. It says $37 trillion. It comes right out of the Treasury.gov API. Sorry, John, but those are the numbers we go off of what the government puts out. It's called the Treasury. I worked there for the past 5 years, but now I'm campaigning for Congress in the 16th District of Illinois against Darren LaHood. And Matt, I'd like you to pin the link to my campaign donation page, if you may. I hope I've given you the content you're looking for.
Okay, so now we have a bigger problem. So you're telling me that for the last 5 years when you've been violating all of our privacy and recording people, you were doing it on government time? As a Department of the Treasury employee? Is that what you're telling me, John?
Listen, I fulfilled all the responsibilities of my position. I worked from home. Everything is documented. Everything is paid for. I'm paid by the Treasury. I pay to the Treasury just like you, and we all have $100,000 to $400,000 in future tax liabilities. If you're with the campaign for Darren LaHood and you're not with John Kitover, you stand with Ponzi schemers, you stand with can kickers, and you will never give liberty or justice to your fellow citizens because you're too stupid to know what liberty and justice is. This is John Kitover for the 16th District, and I am finished speaking. And when I am finished speaking, you are entitled to your time because I will listen to your long, drawn-out, numberless bullshit of telling me about KPIs and his...
I'm done with it. I'm done with it. Get this guy out of here. Don't ever come to my house and plantation. I'll make sure that the last plantation that you're on that you'll never ever see again. You just watch your mouth, little stinker. Sorry, I usually don't lose my cool like that. Welcome, Trayvon. How are you this afternoon?
Trayvon, how you doing, bro? I'm gonna follow you because we're coming.
And welcome back, by the way, too.
Well, Matt, if you lose your cool, you can't be Matt cool. So, don't let it happen.
Boo-boo. Damn, I looked away from the phone for a second. Y'all put the congressman in the goo. This is diabolical. I'm just joking. He makes more sense down there in NY than up here, unfortunately. Last I heard, he was accusing you of being the plantation owner, man. Can you believe that? The nerve to come into my house, and accuse me of having a plantation. This is the guy. This is the crazy congressman.
Oh goodness, I love it. Listen, John calls it Clown House, and it's the perfect term for this app because I swear, like I keep saying, it doesn't matter what room you pop into, there's always at least one character, a cast of characters. John, respectfully, you seem to be the star of Clown House.
Every
I
man
think
and
you
every
like it
woman
this
is
way.
a star.
And I'm so thoroughly entertained.
Not the Clown House is crazy.
That's what he calls it. Congressman calls it Clown House.
So what was he going to name your?
I'm just looking through the math, and I have never seen any politician show me the math on why their idea works.
Exactly.
In a spreadsheet with a bar graph. Like, can we just not do a polar plot on why this works and where it pulls what, and with a little transparency, like some good Microsoft BI? Do you not have somebody? I'll do it for free. Send me the spreadsheet, and I'll create you the graphs and show why your idea works. I'd be happy to. It'd be cool. I'm still looking for a narrative to be better, like not worse. Let's do it.
I'm just curious to know what John thought your plantation would be called. Like, did you think it was going to be called like Cool Cotton Farms, or I mean, like I'm like what? Yeah, like I'm trying to understand.
Matt should have a plantation. Matt, I'm in favor of you having a plantation, but I don't think that's a bad thing. Black people need to step it up. Let's make some bearings. Let's get the cotton industry under control. The sugar,
Matt, John's trying to come back up, but this is your house. I'll let you handle it. Your space. So that's on Matt if he wants to bring the congressman back.
Let me
New York, I was just
let me consult my counsel here. Dr. Adams, what do you think?
Let him back up. Yeah.
Doctor, I think first, 8% transgender is going to get disqualified. We can't agree on that.
Oh yeah, no, his campaign's over after that. You know.
Okay, let me just answer your question about the economics. I'm going to stay calm and composed because it's a very simple, sweet answer. You run a business for a profit, and so as employees of the federal government, should be a national endeavor to run the government as a for-profit business, as opposed to a debt liability creator and a tax debt creation system. In the same way that Norway or Saudi Arabia runs their government at a profit, they have a national sovereign wealth fund. We have a national debt wealth fund, which is not wealth, that's tax liabilities. So run the government like a business, and we will start to solve our problems in a business-like way. Otherwise, this is Clown Town, and it's a clown show, and you can use your cute little questions, but we all know that it's not being run like a business. And if we're adults and not children, and we don't want to act like clowns in the Clown Town or in the tent, and we want to be responsible adults, we run this like a business.
Sure, I don't agree with you that the government should be profitable. I think building infrastructure and building transportation and taking care of healthcare is totally a business that you're going to lose money in. The customer acquisition, for one, i.e. educating everyone about how healthcare works, how the transit system works, that is not profitable to do it in a good way. So that's not a profitable business. You're going to lose a certain amount of money. That money is then paid for by the taxpayers who are using that system. So therefore, they pay for the system. And that's how you control pharmaceutical costs, is that the taxpayers are paying for the system. There's only a certain amount of money per taxpayer. So that's the cost that we charge the taxpayer. And the amount of money that we give the pharmaceutical company in research and tax breaks makes up for the fact that they only get $25 for the insulin. So I think that's a perfectly workable system. That's reasonable. And I think those numbers are reasonable. I can show you why.
Okay, can I respond?
That the health of the population, hold on one second, that the health of the population and that being greater and their upward mobility being greater is therefore producing more of a profit. And that's how you get a profit from the mechanism. You don't get a profit on the front. But sure, go ahead.
Okay, this is my response. I listened to everything you said with incredible attention, so I knew how to really appropriately to respond to what you're saying. And John, let me just tell you this. When you run a business to the ground, there's a lot of hurt feelings. And sometimes when you restructure a business because it's not making a profit, the outcome is a lot of hurt feelings. And I can promise you, if I get into Congress, I'm going to hurt a lot of feelings because K Street and all the lobbyists that let Congressman LaHood skim $10 million out of the $20 trillion in debt, I'm going to hurt their feelings by giving them no more money. We're cutting $1.8 trillion from Medicare, Medicaid, and $200 billion from the National Defense Authorization Act, saving us $2 trillion a year and bringing our annual expenditure to $5 trillion a year, in line with what we collect at the IRS through the Treasury. So that's my official economic position. We have to run the government like a business. We can't spend more than we take in, and we are now running at a profit. And that means paying down the debt at $37 trillion and $1 trillion a year in national interest. So until we stop acting like children and run this like real businessmen, we are running it to the ground, and we're going to hurt feelings either way.
It's fucking hot.
Is it hot out today? My gosh.
Yeah, it's 81.
Mm-hmm.
So has anyone
The
here?
thing that we have in business is we have like a variance. And so like Steve Jobs talks about this a lot because he had it in the tech industry. And so like when you change what you're doing from an infrastructure and operations standpoint, you have a variance, and that could be different things based on how much stuff you defer. So the fact of pulling money away from health when you have a dependency to take care of people via law will cause an increase in cost. So your 1-to-1 ratio that, i.e. this cut equals such an expenditure to be less, is incorrect and will probably cause a 300% larger expenditure. I believe that mathematically, for reasons of redundancy and replication within the system, that you're kind of nesting things in the system, and when that happens from a functional standpoint and a mathematical standpoint, you defer the cost like maintenance. If you defer the maintenance cost, that maintenance cost goes up exponentially per quarter, whether you like it or not. And then at the end of that transition, you did save money in the short term, but in the long term, the projection is for deferred maintenance, which costs 30% more, which is now hundreds of percentages more points than you would have paid had you done the maintenance on schedule, i.e. the mandatory spending. So I think in a mathematical breakdown, you'll look at these points and you'll see that the variance month over month, as we just normally calculate it in a business, is greater than spending the money up front. You disagree about that, I get that.
Okay, let me reply. Let me know when you're ready for me to reply. Go ahead, John.
You're replying to something you haven't heard before me.
There's something I want to. There's a little clip.
Missing the variance.
Okay, there's a little clip I want to play you, and this is how I would describe my economic policy for the American people.
I have a structured settlement and I need cash now. Call J.J. Wentworth, 877 cash now. I have an annuity, but I need cash now. Call J.J. Wentworth, 877 cash now.
That's me. That's my fault. I don't even know what the hell. What was that? Like, I'm just.
He's saying that he wants the way that they couch this in intellectualism is they want a profit first agenda, which I mean you can say from a business, but you know when you have a profit first agenda, you still need to work.
He can't run a business. You think that he owns a copyright to that jingle?
Dude,
okay, he just aired it on Clubhouse and on freaking YouTube. Like, this dude is not, like, he has a really poor business acumen.
Look, guys, I'm not a great businessman or anything. Like, I lost a good salary trying to sell Christmas trees in Florida, so I'm not, like, this great business mind. I'm saying that, like, running a business that's semi-profitable in the American economy isn't very hard, and the rules are favorable to doing that. If you're worried about taxes, that's a weird thing because I don't know any of those people who worry about taxes.
Depends on sum of cash they will pay to you. If you get long-term payments, but you need cash now. J.J. Wentworth, 877 cash now. 877 cash now. 877 cash now. 877 cash now. It's your money. Use it when you need it.
That's the quote I wanted to get to. It's your money. Use it when you need it.
Property leave and tie it up in legalese until they leave. So
It's
the new owner has to the real estate
It's your
maybe
money.
I'm wrong.
Use it when you need it.
Like, because I don't do real estate in California. So I have no fucking idea with that. I'm just saying that, rich people that I know don't know any rich people. I've been hanging out with rich people all week, and none of them seem to talk about taxes. They don't talk about Trump. They don't talk about taxes. Like, what they're most worried about is, like, a service or a thing that they want that's not currently available. Like, I don't hear any of them talk about, like, property tax. Only poor people pay taxes, which they don't even pay.
So in the line of work of what I do, hello? Can y'all hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Can y'all?
Sorry.
Oh, okay. No, you're good. So the line of work of what I do is, I encounter wealthy people on a daily basis. And they're very much so concerned about taxes, especially in the line of work that I'm in, where you have somebody who is towards the end of life and family members and, financial proxies are having to make decisions in, either raising funds to be able to pay for that end of life and, the given situation that I mentioned with that mansion tax. The mansion tax doesn't just apply to homes that are 5,000 square feet and above. That's literally the definition of what a mansion is. A mansion tax basically is a tax on a property that is worth $5 million and above. That could be a 2-bedroom condo at the beach in certain sections of Los Angeles. So,
Yeah, I'm in a place in Crown Heights. I know what you're talking about.
You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's a lot of people are practically having that conversation, and it is a very relevant thing. Now, as far as income taxes, everybody could always want to make more. You do have wealthy people that would like to pay no taxes. Seriously, you do have wealthy people out there that would like to pay no taxes. So I just, I'm pushing back respectfully just a little bit in saying that that's disingenuous intellectually to say that wealthy people to a certain scale don't complain about taxes. I know plenty of wealthy people that would go to federal prison to save time, to save a buck on taxes.
Real quick, is MY here?
Yes, no, I'm here. I was in the back channel.
Yeah, just a question. I defer to you. Should we let the crazy congressman back up or not?
No, here we go.
Gentlemen, I say yes. I say yes, only because, I'm entertained by the congressman. But if, you let him up, okay.
Thank you, Nye. This campaign keeps marching on because of good people like you. Beautiful people like you.
This champagne.
John, can you tell me about the phones? Why so many phones, Connor? Is this like
Yeah.
channels or whatever?
I have 30 plus YouTube accounts. They're all across these phones. 30 plus Instagram accounts. I've uploaded 20,000 YouTube videos, 20,000 Instagram videos of people like you talking here on Clown House, having heated conversations,
See what I mean?
wasting all their time.
So you're spending time in quantities of violating people's sense of, comfort. Let me ask you this. How many psychotropic medications are you prescribed?
That's psychotropic. Oh my.
Well, I just want to let you know that that's defamation, libel, and slander. I'm going to be sending a lawsuit to the campaign to elect Darren LaHood.
Go ahead. I asked you a question. I didn't confirm. Let me ask you this. How many psychotropic medications that I just asked you? So, I'm simply asking how many psychotropic medications are you prescribed, if at all?
And slander. I'm going to be sending a lawsuit to the campaign to elect Darren LaHood.
Go ahead. I asked you. Let me ask you this. How many psychotropic medications are you prescribed?
Well, I just want to let you know that that's definitely.
Well, that's just a really good way to frame a question. Like, you're a lawyer. Lawyers do that all the time. When did you stop beating your wife, for instance, right? Is the question you always hear in civil lawsuits. That's just fair as fair goes. There's always holding in a football play. Deal with it.
All right. Well, we will also be submitting this libel and slander suit and defamation by Dr. Adams and the Darren LaHood campaign to YouTube. Thank you very much, Dr. Adams, for your contribution to the campaign today.
Throw me in there.
John, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been sued?
Let me ask you a question, Dr. Adams. Have you ever been sued? Because the campaign to elect John Kitover is preparing defamation and libel slander lawsuits against you, as well as the campaign to elect Darren LaHood. So thank you very little, Dr. Adams.
Get in line.
Please. Hey, John, throw me in there, bro.
Get in
Question,
line.
Dr. Adams. Have you ever been sued? Because the campaign to elect John Kitover is preparing defamation and libel slander lawsuits against you, as well as the campaign to elect Darren LaHood. So thank you very little, Dr. Adams.
Get in line.
Darren, please, Darren, I would be happy to be a partner to elect Darren LaHood, just so that I can be partner to the lawsuit against Mr. John. Just to let you know. He called a lot. You call me. I'll be a partner. We'll get all sorts of discovery, boy. We're gonna have some depositions here. Woo! We're gonna have depositions.
Well, you might get your chance tonight because Matt's going to hold a round 2 to this incredible conversation, and we're going to get Marshall there. We're going to get Brad there. We're going to get Mojo's positive vibration experience. John, you might be there. I know Hakima is going to be there, one of my #1 campaign contributors.
Oh, no.
Nye's going to be an organizer. Thank you, Dr. Adams, and thank you, Matt.
Don't get too excited, because let me tell you what's happening right now. Right now is the viewing, right? Tonight is going to be the funeral of your campaign.
Oh my God!
Wait that up. And I think it's safe to say that Mojo will likely not be there, so let's not put him on the back. Let's just let
Mojo on that one. Yeah, just for the record. By the way, a little house cleaning note. And I will be leaning on John for this particular piece. Even sometimes useful idiots become useful. Yeah, I know. John.
Matt, real quick, I also came in here because Agent was in here, and I fucking love Agent.
Oh.
They're genius.
Also, wait, Agent is not John. Agent is a real person. It's not a John account.
No, it's a real person.
Oh, okay.
But let me just say this. John, if you were streaming that live room of Pepe reading out Roger's information, I'm telling you right now, you contributed to the problem, and you've now memorialized that said information on YouTube. So again, unintended consequences.
Doctor, can I get you guys? I know y'all like trying to go on, but can you tell me what happened with Pepe? Because I ain't been here for like 6 months or 8 months or something like that.
Just 1 second, John.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Do your thing, and then just let me know what happened. So me with the team.
Yeah. No. Actually, John, I was going to ask you, how long do replays go for before I have to cut them off?
Oh, they go for at least 10 hours.
Okay,
Yeah,
probably like hour 4 or 5, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and it'll cut off after, because I used to host marathon rooms, and we would go at least 10 hours, maybe a little longer before the replays automatically shut off.
Got it.
Yeah, they got still is a room.
Carry on, John. Do you want to say something? Go ahead. Silent H, John.
He wanted to know what happened to Pepe. Pepe's been on a doxing spree. Pepe went and doxed someone that ran a very entertaining house on this app. Someone who allegedly, according to the haters, offended a lot of people over the past couple years. And someone who others greatly appreciate the spaces that he holds.
Okay, Darren LaHood was going to be good for the hood. Okay, and you're gonna
so he
lose.
decided to dox this person live in his room, from what I understand.
You're talking about a girl, man? That's a new update.
Oh,
No, I keep telling you, that has nothing to do with it.
He admitted it, though, yesterday. That's part of the reason. Yeah, part of the reason is because Pepe has a vendetta against John. He doesn't like that Mr. Mojo Rising, quote unquote, stole and hero from him. And there's another reason that is because he doesn't like the way Roger mods and hosts his rooms. And so Pepe admitted on the Healthy Debate stage yesterday that basically the reasoning behind it is petty and out of anger and just he didn't say this exactly, I'm just paraphrasing. He's attempting to humble Roger because Roger is a bully and has been a bully on this app. And he's This man's address is out there. Allegedly, this man's photo is out there. And I need somebody to go look at Rich's account, because Rich has been messaging me in the back end. He's changed his PTR, his Messy Clown Drama account. I don't know if that's the Roger photo that Pepe's used, right? I don't know. I didn't see the photo yesterday. I mean, I didn't see the photo on Friday.
Is it the photo of the brown, the man, the heavier set man with the brown top?
With the brown background?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's him. Because even Uncle Steve, which I trust Uncle Steve. Okay, I fuck with Uncle Steve. Uncle Steve and I live in the same damn city.
I gotta tell you that I know people. I don't think they care.
So no, but I'm just saying. Uncle Steve said that that's not him.
Yeah, I don't think any of those people are in danger anyway, just based on who they are. They do. Yeah.
Well,
Those folks, I don't think they got a problem with that. They got security.
no, well, I heard this morning from someone who's close to Roger that Roger said his address got out. And
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you give a fuck like that. Because Roger ain't nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, no.
that's not.
Nobody wants their address publicly released on social media. Especially if you live with family, you have kids, and possibly you live with your parents. I'm not saying that's like Mojo. I'm just saying in general. Nobody wants their address. That's the thing. Nobody wants that. It's not cool.
Let me explain something to you. Anybody goes after my fucking dad, okay, I'm telling you right now, that man is a senior citizen, number one. Okay, number two, that's my fucking dad. Okay, I'm coming for your neck at that point. Okay, I don't fuck all this bullshit, your wife and kids, X, Y, and Z. I'll send recordings of you to your fucking wife's job. I'll call CPS and have them interviewing your fucking kids. If you come after my parents, I'm telling you right now, I will fuck with you in a way that you're gonna remember that.
Exactly.
Yeah, hardest ways possible through words, and it will go when you will be straight. Say sure.
Over the years, you know what I'm saying? So,
How great is the difference between
That is crazy.
Shit, I've been dealing with this doxing shit and this.
That's my fault, right? Because I could my name's whatever, I never had that problem.
I've been dealing with this weird doxing shit and these fucking fake internet influencers out of California since 2008. Okay, these motherfuckers showed up to my college campus. I had to call the police. They were doing drive-bys by my freaking house. Like, I'm telling you, people on the internet, all because they didn't like an opinion. You see what I'm saying? All because they didn't like an opinion. So, to me, I've seen how this shit can go very, very, very left. Okay? Fuck around and find out with the wrong person. Somebody in one of those influencers was using a Viacom trademark subsidiary in trying to market and promote, their social media presence because they showed up on one reality show. You better believe I called their office in fucking New York and that person was sent a letter to take their fucking subsidiary's name out of your marketing.
Dude, one of my people's on here that fuck with music and shit, somebody put a GPS tracker on their car, spot on them, because they didn't like their opinion. Showed up at their gigs, were buying tickets, trying to come to the back. It was great. All because, they had they're talking down. That shit get crazy. It does get crazy. But I was wondering but all those people is really secure to do it. Any of those folks, that's going to go left for you.
Amendment. Hit that like button. It's 312-49.
No, I mean, it's just like, listen, people think that because they're out of sight, they're out of reach. You see what I'm saying? Fuck around with the wrong person on this app, and shit can go in a completely left direction that will take your social media presence off of this app and put you into a place like freaking Hot Tour Girl. You see what I'm saying? I've seen it happen. I've seen it. I've seen somebody that I'm actually very close with on this app. She made a comment, and it was a very divisive back and forth. Like, she literally packed this person up. But didn't they actually play that clip or some form of what was said on Clubhouse actually made it onto a national podcast?
Wow. I think I know what you're referring to.
You remember that?
Oh yeah, I remember.
But there's been a couple things like that on here where it's national. Quiet.
Let me ask you this: how many psychotropic medications are you prescribed?
I just want to let you know that that's defamation, libel, and slander. I'm going to be sending it a lawsuit to the campaign to elect Darren LaHood.
Go ahead, I asked you. Let me ask you this: how many psychotropic medications are you?
Conviction in his opinions has been crazy over the years, and it's gotten more crazy as time has gone on. It's gotten deeper, not like more open, not more repressed, not to use the wrong terminology, but like informed, I guess maybe is the right terminology. Opinions become less informed, correct? I think it's hilarious when we bring free speech out. So I think that it's hilarious, but at the same time, it's pretty great.
So, Silent H. John, you've been fairly quiet.
Let me ask you this: how many psychotropic?
Quite defeated today, right? The LaHood team showed up tonight and today, and I'm pleased with our effort, Dr. Adam.
Camp LaHood, we are not directly nor officially affiliated, okay, with the LaHood campaign. I want to make that very clear. Okay, we have never represented the fact that we are a part of the LaHood campaign. I actually categorically reached out to the LaHood campaign to bring them out here. I have no dog in this fight. I live in California. But again, I feel that LaHood is best for whatever district that freaking John is running in. Okay? I would quicker, let me tell you something. I would quicker vote for Casey Anthony than I would vote for freaking John Kitover for that district.
Doctor, you have a disclaimer.
John, I'd like to go after you. Go ahead.
No, you have a disclaimer. Doctor, you have a disclaimer on your profile. Right? So I'm just saying, there's a disclaimer. Don't get cussed out. That to be a disclaimer from a legal position that if you say some wild and crazy shit, you may get cussed out by somebody who may or may not represent the Hood campaign, depending on what we're talking about. That's fine. Go ahead, John. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, I will point you to my YouTube channels where Dr. Adams is impersonating a campaign aide from the campaign to elect Darren LaHood, and I've notified the campaign to elect Darren LaHood, and this is. Hold on, I'm going to bring receipts. This is the clip.
I think how many psychotropic medications are you prescribed?
Well, I just want to let you know that that's defamation, libel, and slander. I'm going to be sending it a lawsuit to the campaign to elect Darren LaHood.
Go ahead, I asked you. Let me ask you this.
All right, you're on notice, Dr. Adams. Better stop LARPing, otherwise it might get a little hot for you when the campaign to elect Darren LaHood sues you. Not just me. You might get sued by LaHood. Not me. LaHood's got $10 million in the skim, and he might sue you, Dr. Adams. Be careful. You've been warned. Legal notice.
Thank you. Yes.
You've been put on legal notice. You've been put on legal notice.
Yes, thank you.
It's not just me you're going to have to worry about. It's Darren LaHood.
Doctor, I want to be involved in this. Please correspond.
Hey, John, Kiddo, you can count on the $20 donation.
Can you get on which side are you on?
I'm on the side of the person that want to cut the spending. He cut the wrong fucking spending. He's getting on the right cut. I'm on the person that want to cut the fucking spending.
Hakima, man, I'm gonna pay for you to come out to a campaign event so we can get that testimony in video.
All the anti-black things that Edmund has said, okay, and you're gonna side with him over me?
It's not you, it's the hood. I don't give a fuck about the hood. Fuck the hood and this hood.
Fuck is crazy.
I'm voting for I can't vote for Darren Kitover.
That's the new campaign slogan. Fuck LaHood, his ass ain't good.
Fuck the hood, his ass ain't good. And I got family in the rock with I'm see if I can get some signatures, but whatever at no cost.
Wow. You hear that, Dr. Adams? You hear that, Matt? This is Hakima, and you come on here and claim that I'm doing racist speech. Dr. Adams, you come on here and say the most horrifically bigoted, racist, and anti-woman speech. You're a misogynist. You say horrible things. You do no education. All you do is come on here and stir the pot and scream your bullshit. So take your criticism of my campaign, and I will. And again, Dr. Adams, you've been legally warned that the things you're saying against me as a candidate constitutes slander, libel, and defamation. I could legally sue you based off of the audio clips that I have right now. And if there's some billionaire listening that wants to fund a lawfare campaign against you and the campaign to elect Darren LaHood, I hope we get that funded for you, Dr. Adams.
I don't know if this is the temperament we want in Congress. That's all I'm saying. I don't know if this is.
Listen, I don't know if you know what it's like to wage war, but this is a defensive communication war. And I'm not going to let Dr. Adams or Matt or Darren LaHood spread all kinds of lies, defamation, and slander to confuse the voters about who the enemy of the state is. It's not John Kitover. It's Darren LaHood who is putting you into a debt slavery that you have no vote in. $37 trillion worth of debt. $100 trillion in unfunded debt liabilities. This guy's been in Congress 10 years. That's $20 trillion in debt he's created. The numbers are all in grok. I've done all the research. You can see all of our position statements at johnforcongress.com. Let me put the link in the chat again to make a campaign contribution right now.
Guys, I don't know if you know who Levy is, but he's a famous chess YouTuber. Something followers or whatever. Levy just did a chess game between the chat engine and him, where the chat engine was teleporting pieces. So while the data may seem very convincing, that data is not necessarily factual, though it may support your position. Just to put that out there. Needs an audit.
That's right. LaHood's gonna wipe the floor with you, motherfucker.
Well, link is in the chat. Make a donation now. John, would you consider giving $10 to the campaign to elect John Kitover right now after all this communication, transparency, honest opinion? Are you not willing to give $10 for some of these opinions?
Dude, look, I'd give you a lot of money if I saw it. Yeah, I support really smart things that work well. So yeah, if you have good things that work well, but I'm asking you for the math anyway. $20 million, $1 billion.
Well, I know you may want calculus or trigonometry. I'm giving you arithmetic, John. It's called arithmetic math.
Bro, what up? I understand the arithmetic, but what I'm saying is that there's externalities that don't line up with the arithmetic, and we haven't accounted for that.
Well, let me ask you a question. Are you a forensic accountant? Do you know what's going on behind secret closed doors at the Federal Reserve, John? No, you just admitted you sold Christmas trees at a parking lot and you lost your job. Who the F are you?
No, that's not what I said. I just said that, like, I've made my fair share of bad decisions off of data that was really good. It wasn't the data problem. It was, like, the things that I was missing. It's like the survivor fallacy. So that, like, you don't know what you don't know. That's why business is a risk, and that's why you make more when you do it successfully. So yeah, no question can you do business unsuccessfully. And that, in essence, there would be my argument to you, is that while you could have the greatest intentions, you could be missing something. So perhaps we should do the math in order to find out whether that is or is not the truth. Categorically, with logic and math.
John with the H. There's rumors swirling around your campaign that Mojo has stepped down from your campaign. Can you confirm these rumors, please? Thank you.
Sure. Dr. Mojo, the super positive X experience, was never a campaign manager. He was simply running rooms here on Clown House at his own free will, not as a contractor or an employee of the campaign. So to say he stepped down from a non-existent position is absolutely ludicrous, Matt. And try to be the circus master that you are. Congratulations, Matt. You failed again. And I'm sure tonight, when you think that the campaign is going to end,
what role did he play in your campaign, sir?
You can see it all on the live streams, on the YouTubes, on the Instagrams, on the X's. Everything has been live streamed for the past 2 weeks completely. Please refer in my profile to my Instagram, to my YouTube, and take a look for yourself.
Answer the question.
Typical circus master, typical troll, typical pot stirrer Matt. The fake MAGA comparing, saying other people aren't MAGA. Where's your MAGA face with your hat? Where's your red hat at, Matt? Show us your red hat. Take a selfie, Matt. Where's your red hat? Take a selfie, Matt. Big talker. Big talker. Where's the money? Put up or shut up. Put up or shut up. Money talks, bullshit walks. Money talks, bullshit walks. Link is in the chat. Link is in the chat. Link is in the chat.
This man is off his meds.
Okay, again, defamation, slander, lawsuit. Link is in the chat. Learn how to deal with your emotional response to heated conversation. What do you think Clown House is? It's an anger management simulator. I'm here. I'm hypnotizing you for hours now. And now you're getting angry. Go ahead and send me money now. $10, $100. Support the campaign. I helped you stir the pot, Matt. I hope you like the soup. I hope you like the taste of the soup, Matt. You stirred the pot. Here we go.
It's crazy. Oh my God. Like, listening to his voice, like, now I have to poop.
I gotta take a big
He's got to
right
take
now,
his shit now.
You know, he's the typical politician. Just a lot of shit spewing out of his slurp pipe. And nothing ever changes. I mean, he thinks he's the big change agent. Yeah, well, he needs to go change his little poopy diapers that he wears on camera. He's a sick individual. And he needs to, realize that he's not going to win this campaign. It's officially over.
God, that was like very, very, very stressful. Yeah, John. I'm just minding my business, driving down Sunset. Listen to your heart. Nobody's voting for you. Listen to your heart. LaHood is going to beat you.
Now, there is one thing that was mentioned in chat too. Just great questions coming from the goo today. Great questions. Maybe will be carried over to tonight when John, the crazy congressman, ends his campaign officially live in the One House. And will you submit your medical records to us, John? You can write that in chat.
I don't know why you're running. I sure as hell don't know why you're gonna lose to LaHood tonight.
LaHood sounded like his family was like KKK members. So with the hood, that's where the name came from.
I gotta say, this has been a grand opening for the One House. Thank you so much, everybody. Really appreciate your attendance. It's been very therapeutic and very eye-opening, needless to say, throughout the last couple of hours. I think my the replay, for some odd reason, would not go away. And I think I know why, because it's been such a tantalizing space. Thank you guys so much for coming today. And I hope to have the repeat of this, in the evening. We'll figure something out, possibly. We'll see how that goes. And I really appreciate everybody in the group for hanging out and being yourselves. Thank you, Live, for coming. I really appreciate it.
I just want to say that replay was anointed by the Lord, okay, to bring out the truths, okay, of the Kitover campaign, and it has truthfully touched the shoulder of our good brother Darren LaHood, and we'll see you at the finish line.
And this guy thinks he has the nerve to think he's gonna have the last word. What a clown.
He almost got us fucked up.
Wait, so this was your first room under this house, Matt?
Correct, yeah. This is the first
Oh, wow, very nice.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, this has been a great conversation.
Yeah, I've been trying to just need another place to land on. I can't do everything under Trump, so I got to have a little other space to extend my reach into other areas. So why not?
I know why you don't want to do it in that house.
What? Not any conspiracy.
You don't want to repeat the emergence of usual suspects that kind of was an accelerant. Yeah, I've been knowing you for a long time.
Hey, those suspects aren't gonna. I mean, they'll come around anyways around here too. So,
that goes back to like all our stuff about guilty of association. We don't want to go down that road. That's another room again. But it's been good.
You even got Al Sharpton in the room. You see Al Sharpton at the bottom?
Not you getting quiet. What did you say?
So you got Al Sharpton in the room. He's at the bottom.
Let me go look at Al Sharpton here. Oh yeah, that's Al Sharpton. He's a good man. That guy.
Who is this hairstylist? All right, Matt, close it.
All right, gotta keep
this bitch from LaHood.
LaHood. All right, y'all. I'll catch you out there. Jeez, like
Rich people have to think.
Thanks.
And she was just as rude to him as he was to her.
Yeah, that's right.
Rabbi, be nice, be nice.
Tell us, Rico, how you fucked her on top of the billiard table. Let's go. Tell us, Rico.
Look for this big picture, and the Kurdish people in Iran has zero negotiation, then the whole thing will collapse. Then nobody win, nobody win. So we have to figure out. But all this is ongoing discussion again. Ongoing discussion. We have more Iranian coming here to express how they want this friendship, and from the biblical point of view as well.